Friends, today's NRI Summer program from Los Angeles brought to you commercial free by listeners like you. Your generous donations make possible for us to stay commercial free, and today's show is pre-recorded. If you have a question for the guest, please send an email to nrisummer@gmail.com. We will follow up with the guest and find the answer for you. Thank you for your support.
A playwright, dialogues between the characters, the cast, rehearsals, the costumes, publicity, marketing, and last but not the least, the audience is all what it takes to get a stage play successfully done. Now, Prayog US, which is an organization based in the US, is doing exactly that. And in a digital age, which is filled with mobile devices and electronic media, and everything is available at your fingertips, how is that they were able to make this space for stage plays, and that to make it relevant? So let's talk to our guests on today's show, Mr. Amiya Mehta, who is the director, and Deepak Gupta, the co-director of Prayog US. Welcome, Amiya and Deepak, to NRI Summit.
Thanks, Suresh Bhai. It's a pleasure to talk to you on this medium.
Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Amiya. So first, let me ask Amiya a question. Since you're the director of Prayog US, how and why did you think about Prayog as an organization that should be involved in doing stage plays? How did that happen?
Sure. Prayog actually is an established name when it comes to the theater work in India. It was established in 1976 by Professor Satish Mehta, who's my father, and Jyotsna Mehta, my mother. Prayog has been doing consistent theater for almost over 40 years now. I've been in US for about 20 years, and I know Deepak has been here for a while as well. After coming here, with the background we've had in our theater, we got to a point, after getting to a point that we are a little bit okay as far as our, work, as far as our, earning and all that. Now we are at a point, this is about 4 years back, around the Anna Hazare movement, that some of us got together and we wanted to kind of channelize this positive energy which had developed around that time. And we thought creativity is possibly the best way to be able to channelize it. Now we have in our team people with different backgrounds. Someone who's very good with music, someone who's very good with writing skills, or someone who's very good with acting or management. How to bring it all under one umbrella? And obviously theater seemed like the obvious choice, because of the fact that theater is a craft which involves pretty much all of the art which you can think of, be it, acting, or music, or lighting, or even painting to some extent, or writing. So that's how, primarily me and Deepak and some of our other team members got to this conclusion that we should form the branch of Prayog Theatre Group, Prayog Natya Manch, which we already had been participating back in India. Professor Satish Mehta was visiting us here in October of 2012. And, some of us who had gathered together, during the Anna Hazare movement, got together and, decided to form Prayog Hindi Manch USA.
Mm-hmm. And Deepak, how did what is your motivation now? I know Amiya got the motivation from his parents. What was your motivation to come join this theater play and get involved in social political causes?
Actually I come from a little bit more politically conscious background. My father has been a socialist leader of his time with Jayaprakash Narayan. So after that, when I was in school, I was cultural secretary, so I was very much involved with the plays and music and other kinds of art forms. And so from very beginning, I have seen the impact of art on a personal persona and what it does to bring the social change which we all strive to make. So that way I do understood the relevance of art in a human life and in the life of the society where it can really play a pivotal role. So during the Anna Hazare movement, when we were all involved, somehow during that moment I came in touch with Amiya, and he mentioned about theater, and it right away clicked with me because of my background. Is I said this is the way to go. Because long back there is a poem in Hindi by one writer. One line of that poem was Jan Ganga mein jwar leher tum deeptiman rehna. What meaning of that is, oh, the uprising in the minds of people, please be there, don't just subside. That's what we have seen. So we were just thinking that when this leher will subside, what will happen? People will go back to their houses and we will get involved. So can we use this energy in some of the form to make it sustain for how long we can? So that's where this Prayog group came in handy, and I think me and him and his father, initially we got together, and his father started this with an first play. We thought about what to do.
Mm-hmm. So I understand, that the Jan Lokpal movement was a big catalyst in getting you guys together. But what convinced you? Maybe I'll ask this question to Amiya. How did you convince yourself that Prayog is relevant to the audience in the U.S.?
Sure. The important thing being a vacuum, we have seen, there is a lot of positive energy, a lot of people before 2011, maybe they were there, but we did not get to see that there is so much energy. Even in U.S., lots of youngsters, lots of people trying to do something for the motherland. So we thought, we have to fill up this vacuum, as Deepak said, after this moment, Anna Hazare moment subsides. We don't want to let go of this energy. How do we fill up this vacuum? The best way is to be able to directly connect with the audience, with the people, who have come up and shown interest or some level of participation in terms of doing something for the motherland. And I think initially, like any new initiative, we were a little bit skeptical. But once we started seeing the results in the form of audience response, we got more and more confident. And it's now over 3 years, or almost 3 years, since we've been doing this. Definitely it's very encouraging that we are filling up the vacuum here, in the sense that we are doing some social, we are bringing up some social causes or political, or, all different type of causes which are pretty much, relevant in the society as of now.
Just to add to what Suresh Amiya Bhai said, actually the question you asked, see, I agree that we live in a modern age where it's more mobile and iPhone and cell phone. But if you look at it from the cultural perspective, the elections in the US and elections in India are very different in nature because of the cultural background music, which I always call culture as the background music, which just keeps playing, which you never hear. But if the music stops, then you realize, hey, something has changed. So that way, from the cultural landscape, U.S. and Indian elections are different, and because of that. So what I mean is, even though in Indian politician can be, very good in TV debate or anything, but live contact with the voters is still the key. So same thing, that even though all these mobile apps are there, but the live contact medium is very important, and it has its own space. So that way, and there's a huge cultural vacuum in American society. So that way, it really helped us, actually, that this is the right way to reach out to people, talk to people directly, involving all kinds of people in one platform.
So could you just take us through the journey of how your first play came about?
Sure, it's very interesting and a very good question, actually, Suresh. We are till date evolving, and we would be, evolving as things go by, and trying to mature over the period of time. The journey started with a simple, light play. So, because of the fact that, and we've always had a good thought process behind our work. Just so, if I could get to the background, even starting why we did first play and what play we decided to do as the first play. The background of the play which we picked up as our first play was called Adalat Aashikon Ki, a light play, a comedy play, and the intent was to be able to establish ourselves, in the community, in the audience, let them know that we are here, we are, starting to do some work, and that was the intent, starting with a light play. After we had done that play, within few months, we moved on to a play which was written by a famous writer called Lakshmikant Vaishnav, Natak Nahi. Natak Nahi is a play which is a combination of satire but more of comedy. And you would see, through our plays, our journey, it received very good audience response. It had a bit of a satire twist, but at the same time, a lot of comedy as well. And the very next play after that was a play called Andhu Ka Hathi, our signature play till date. We have done multiple shows of that play, at different places, being at New York, New Jersey, Ohio, and some of the other places. That play is more of satire, and we could see slowly that audiences, we are grabbing our audience more and more. We are moving audience from just comedy more to the satire and a little bit of experimental form of theater. They are also sort of in a journey with us. So, I wouldn't be claiming that we are forming a big audience, opinion here, but that is what we are trying to do, that, we are trying to get them to a different kind of an opinion, a little bit of experimental, a little bit satire. And a very recent play we have done is by Dr. Shankar Shesh called Rakta Beach. It's a different play altogether. It's not a satire, it's not a comedy. It's a very serious play, but very realistic, about a very relevant social cause. So that's how our journey has been in the form of different plays,
Mm-hmm. Now, Deepak, the Adalat Aashikon Ki definitely sounds, the title itself sounds very hilarious. Is that the play also was, intentionally made to be light-hearted, humorous, so that, you could maybe establish that relationship with the audience?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good question, Suresh. Basically, what happens is, why we picked up the comedy first. The reason is it's an obvious choice because when we were starting. But another reason we picked up the comedy was that on the name of reality TV today, we are bombarded with all kinds of, off-scene and below-the-belt kind of so-called comedies, which you cannot enjoy or sit with your family and friends. And you cannot explain it to your 5-year-old daughter what you're laughing at. And unfortunately, that's what we have been thrown as if that is what the laughter or the comedy means. So we thought it's a very good opportunity to start ourselves with the comedy, which makes people laugh for sure. But at the same time, it should be a quality work, which makes people see the other side. Okay, this is what the real comedy should be. This is what you don't need to be at below the belt to create a laughter. So that's why we picked up that play to start our journey. And it was a real hilarious play. And the good thing about that play, which I liked, was that it was a play about the different regions of the country, their language, and how they behave in a situation which is pretty similar for all of them. So that way we brought the diversity of the culture and the language of the land to show to the people that this is where we came from. Somewhere on the name of bringing the production of the masses, we are becoming very homogeneous. So the diversity of the land should be shown, and it was really well received because that was a new breeze of air, which was lost somewhere in this whole bulldozer of consumerism and other stuff.
Mm-hmm. And how about, Amir, maybe you can answer, how about the rest of the cast, the rest of the team? How did they, how did you, identify them, and, how long has their association been with Prayog?
Very much, pretty much the team we've been having from the play one has been, connected till date. It's a good thought group, I would say. Whenever we pick up a play or whenever we decide about what play we are going to be doing, or the team plays a very critical, pivotal role, in terms of providing their feedback. As a director, as a lead, I would present, say, two options. These are the options we are leaning towards, and then I would also take team's opinion as to how, what their feedback is in terms of what play and where we should be moving. So a lot of these decisions are taken with the help of the team. The journey of the team has been awesome. As I said, the people who were involved in the beginning, and they were, from even in the very first play, are till date connected, and most of them are in our recent plays also. And that's how it has been done,
And actually, Suresh bhai, the team also came together in a very coincidental way because of the Jan Lokpal movement, because in that movement everybody was doing his way of, giving his information or giving his way of thinking out in the medium he understands much better. So there I was, and Amir bhai was watching who is doing what, and when we started putting the Prayog together for New Jersey, it reminded us about those people. So we got in touch with them, and the moment we called them, they were very interested, and they said, hey, this is what we were looking for. We want to join it. And by God's grace, pretty much, as Amir bhai said, the team which we found from the first play is still intact. And actually more new people are joining it with every hour. That's another good thing. Every performance we have done, we have 2 or 3 more people who joined our team. And to surprise you, to our surprise also, we have more women folks than the men folks. So that's another very welcome surprise that, there are more expressive women who are coming forward.
And
since the last play, they have become the stars, actually.
Exactly. I'd like to just add one more small point here is the fact that, in fact, because of the fact that we have team growing with every play, it kind of gets challenging. That is another aspect we have to keep in mind. I have to keep in mind picking up the play as a next play, because I have to be able to justify, the team members to be able to use them in possibly on the stage, if not, then behind the stage. But try and see if I can, make use of the whole team for our next play.
Friends, NRI Samay is a non-profit independent alternate media from Los Angeles, USA, which brings positive stories from grassroots activists from all corners of India and across the world. Among others, we focus on stories of need for equality, inspiration, environment, health, and politics. NRI Samay does not rely on corporate funding, and thus our shows are commercial free. We only rely on your donations. Please consider donating to NRI Samay, and all donations are kept transparent on nrisamay.com.
So who, Amir, who then writes the plays, or do you use someone else's playwright and adapt it, or how does that go about? How do you decide? Okay, this is the play that we're going to take up next.
Till date, Suresh, we have picked up plays of all the renowned theater writers, be it Dr. Shankar Shesh or Sharad Joshi ji, everyone knows him, or Lakshmikant Vaishnav. We have done some small, I would say not full-length play, but skits. When I say skits, these are 15 to 30-minute type of, what we call in Hindi ekanki plays, written by myself or Deepak or combination of us, So we haven't gotten to the point of writing the plays, complete full-length plays by ourselves, but that is one thing which is we definitely think of doing in our future productions.
Now, Deepak, Amya mentioned earlier that Ando Ki Hati was a signature play for Prayog. But can you explain why that's the case and what's the significance of this play?
Sure. Ando Ka Hati actually is written by one of the most renowned and famous Hindi writers, late Sri Sharad Joshi, and it was written in somewhere in late 70s. And that play is more about the Indian bureaucracy and the nexus of bureaucrats, politicians, and the capitalist. So, and how these people, the big players, they fool the system, they fool the people to use the system in their benefit. And then there is a Sutradhar in that play who represents the public, who keeps on reminding them about their duties towards the people. But they don't realize, they don't accept it because they don't want to do it anyway. They just want to fool the people, and then they have the tricks under their arm, which we all see and know about. And in the end, what happens is they kill the Sutradhar, who is the representative of the people, showing that the conscience of the people is always overruled by the so-called strong people in the system. So that was a crux of the play, but it was written in a very hilarious manner. So that way the people feel connected. So with the way you say Andho Ka Hati, so the blinds elephant. So blinds are the all three, the capitalists, politician, and the bureaucrats. Those who are blind to the problems of the people. And the Hati, the elephant, is the system. The elephant moves very slowly. Sometimes it gives that pretension that it is moving, but it is not. So elephant represents our system, which is so stagnant, and everybody uses the elephant as as something to show off to the people. So that's how the play was defined, and it became a very famous play in India because it really resonates with the state of the system. And one unfortunate thing is that play we did, which was written in 1970s, late 70s, in 2014, and it's very, very relevant, and people do connect with it. So that means that not a lot has changed since this time, no matter how many mobile apps we have.
Right. It's unfortunate for the situation, but that is how it is, and it still connects even 35 years later.
Right.
And as Deepak Bhai said, it does bring. Sharad Joshi ji has a very unique style of writing. The way he writes satire creates a lot of humor. So though it name sounds Andho Ka Hati, how interesting the play could be, but it is a very good situational humor and satire what he has written.
Deepak, do you have a favorite dialogue of yours from this play which you could recite for our audience?
Oh yes, actually one of the very good dialogues which people clapped the most in the whole play of Andho Ka Hati was Chinta Mat Karo. When they talk about this, discuss with each other, we all four that hey, what should we do if people starts revolting, asking questions? Then I say this dialogue that hey, Chinta Mat Karo, हम लोग कह देंगे कि हमने इस समस्या पर गंभीरता पूर्वक विचार विमर्श किया और अंतिम निर्णय जनता पर छोड़ दिया. Which basically means is that we will tell that we discussed this problem in quite detail, and in the end we decided to leave the solution to the hands of the people itself, let the people decide. So that's and then people clap the most because that really resonates that these people are put in the chair to decide, not to tell the people to decide, and then they just don't want to do anything, so they just leave on the name of the people that hey, let the people decide. Now, people is not a single entity which will decide, and which basically you are throwing it in the air, which means nothing. So
There's another,
that's where it resonates with the people a lot.
The next dialogue also I'd like to recite. It's
Sure.
Deepak's dialogue itself, which say basically a continuation of the same dialogue, wherein Hathi has, which is elephant, has come in front of them as a problem. And these folks who are representative of bureaucracy and politicians, capitalists in the country are discussing. There are the 4 or 5 of them, in fact. So the next dialogue of Deepak's is मरने दो, राष्ट्रीय समस्या खड़ी होती है, कुछ की बलि तो लेती ही है। हम सहानुभूति का प्रदर्शन करेंगे, जांच करवाएंगे, पीड़ितों को थोड़ी सी सहायता बांट देंगे और क्या किया जा सकता है। सबसे अच्छी बात है कि हाथी मंच पर नहीं और हम सब सुरक्षित हैं। And this is after Hathi's exit of from the stage. They are like talking that Hathi's problem is now gone. Let's just declare some donation and compensation, and then the way system works basically.
Right. Very interesting. Very nice. So the audience itself now, who is your target audience? Could you just describe your audience for our listeners?
Our audience basically is the people obviously who are mature and who have has the memories like us from India, who has lived there. We obviously target that audience. But again, to our surprise, Suresh, the new generation who is born here, who is brought up here, is connecting with what we are showing. Again, that's a very surprising element for us and very encouraging, because if new generation can connect to what we are doing, then it kind of makes our field successful. And I think Amiya can explain a little bit more on that. It was a very recent surprise we got at Wharton, where the new generation saw our play at Wharton School of Business.
This is amazing, Suresh. We were so encouraged, as Deepak said. Initially we had that audience in our minds that who have come from India and have some memories of that from India. But few examples, I'll give you 2, in fact, not one. One is the recent one. Wharton Business School has a Hindi department. So they have, lots of Hindi students learning Hindi there, be it Indians or be it Americans or even other students. And most of them, I would say, majority of them are, even if they are Indian, they are born here. So we were a bit skeptical when we were invited to stage, and the faculty there was very specific about us doing Andho Ka Hathi there, because some of the faculty members had seen one of the show of Andho Ka Hathi earlier. And we were like, are you sure this will connect with your audience, with the audience you are going to present this to? To our surprise, it was very well received, even by this audience, as I described, people who are born here, youngsters. So that's one example. The other example is there is a program called Star Talk Hindi Urdu program, which is basically funded by U.S. government to promote Hindi in U.S. And those people had also organized, and their audience is even younger. Those are like high school level Hindi students, and in fact, I would say majority of them were American students who were born here, and we had staged Andho Ka Hathi there as well. And again, to our surprise, it was definitely very well received there also.
Mm-hmm. So, Amiya, Deepak, before we end the show, I'd like to know if you want to share any of the, your website information or any other contact information, so our listeners can get in touch with you if they want to know about your next plays, or if they want to actually be part of your plays.
Absolutely. Anyone interested or to join us is welcome. You can reach out to us either directly to myself, my number 908-720-5355, and I'll let Deepak, tell his number.
Yeah, my number is 732-632-7581. And actually, we do look for people who are really interested in this art and they want to contribute in a positive way. And our plays are usually announced on the Facebook page as you know, Suresh bhai, it's Prayog US, Prayog-US on Facebook. So there we do announce our play very much in advance. And I just want to let you know that coming 25th at Addison Valley Playhouse, we are going to perform our latest play called Rakta Beej. Again, Rakta Beej means it's a story in our Puranas. It talks about the system that unless you change the system, even if you kill a problem, it will create a new problem. So it's about fixing the system and how unless you fix the system, the people will remain the victim of the system, no matter how many fixes you put into the bad system. And really clearly, very, very powerfully, it shows that. So I do welcome people who are interested to watch this kind of art. Addison Valley Playhouse, which is on very famous Oak Tree Road. We have a 5 o'clock and a 7 o'clock, two performances on 25th of this month. So you can come us and meet us over there. That will be really nice of you.
All right, thanks, Deepak. And Amir, if you can, if you have a favorite dialogue of yours from all the plays, we'd probably like to end our show with one of that. If you can, do that in Hindi.
Sure, absolutely. I'd like to say, in fact, dialogue from the very recent play, Rakta Beej. And this is again Deepak's dialogue. I'm picking on that. The dialogue is a very short dialogue, but it means a lot. Basically, just to give a background on this, the main character, whose name in the play is Sharma, and his wife are discussing about what they've achieved in life by compromising so much. And they've compromised to a big level. I don't want to reveal the whole play, but I would like to definitely, say a dialogue of this character when they've achieved something. And then the wife is kind of confused that, we have lost so much while in this journey of achieving by compromising so much. And this character, whose name is Sharma, says, Akanksha, हमने ये वैभव यह सब धन भावुकता की सीढ़ियों पे चढ़कर नहीं प्राप्त किया है. This dialogue says a lot, and although it's a very short dialogue, what it means is, basically in order for them to able to get to where they are, they have compromised, immensely.
All right. On that note, I hope you guys don't compromise on your passion for plays, and I hope you keep doing what you are, and hopefully you inspire other people also to join you. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Suresh. It was a nice opportunity for us.
Very nice talking to you, and look forward to be talking to you again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Friends, if you liked today's show, please go to youtube.com/NRI Samay and click on the subscribe button. You will get notified every time we publish a new show. And you can also like us on our social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Google+.